Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Phoenix Wolf and I'm back. So today we're going to be taking a look into Star Wars Battlefront, the beta. To be honest guys, there's a lot to talk about within this game. I'm going to show you one quick gameplay and that's going to be all for the day. So we're going to be playing some Drop Zone. In all honesty, possibly maybe the refresh Star Wars needs, but I don't want to rub anybody's ego yet. I'm just throwing that out there that this could possibly be the refresh that they need for this game. And I'll get into that real quick. The reason why is because we haven't had a good Star Wars game in a while. Sure, everybody can point to the Force Unleashed and all that stuff, which is great and all, but at the end of the day, when you consider it, we really haven't been having any good Star Wars games to play. And I feel like this is a really good take on the series. I would actually classify it as maybe a top 10 competitor of this year. Will I call it a top 10 right now? No, there is a lot of small issues that I feel need to be addressed. And with that being said, I would like to open the floor to a few that I have found, and even the comment section if you find one that I did not list off in this episode, be my guest and start saying some that I missed. One issue I is grenades in this game. I'm gonna start small. Grenades in this game cost 100 credits to get, whereas in any other game series, they were what they were. You didn't have to pay any extra amount for them. You got them right off the bat, and you got 2 to 3 of them depending on your class. I love that. Another nitpicking I have is the sniper rifle in this game is this. That's it. You get one shot with this thing, and it cools down for, I believe it's 8 to 9 seconds.
That escape pod is
which
bound
might
forward.
not seem like a lot, but when you're in the middle of a game and you're at a long-range fight, these assault rifles that we have right now just don't cut it. And there's just a lot of small little details like that, which I feel are holding the game back. Another detail that I wish they would go after is the simple fact that the weapon skins in this game, they are a little buggy. I've seen a few where they've bugged out on me and I just kind of have happened to ignore it. I don't like how everything costs money in this game to get. To get that ion weapon user, the Y ability, that costed me about 500 credits, which, again, is not much. But why is it that these things cost in-game money? Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to hide things behind a in-game currency paywall. What I am saying is that it's a little annoying and frustrating
Another escape pod.
when I have to physically sit here, play your game, just so I can get grenades. I should have grenades off the bat so I can just start lobbing into these places. But again, I understand why they didn't give them out. Another thing I wish
The escape
that
pod will
they
soon be
would
in rebel
consider
hands.
is making classes. So instead of having one character having having classes, like how in Star Wars Battlefront 2 we had a whole whack ton of classes that you could pick from. If you wanted something different, you just chose a different class. And that's how you played the game. Whereas in this one, it kind of feels like you're just one class, but there's a lot of variety to that one class. You can do a lot of things. You can do a lot of things with just one class. Like, your class can have a sniper, which is great. Your class can have a whole bunch of different weapons. But what I like, and this goes something that I kind of enjoy out of the Call of Duty series, is being able to have multiple loadouts, so I don't have to adjust things on the fly. I can just hit loadout 2, and loadout 2's gear appears, and I roll out with loadout 2's gear. I don't have to sit here, try hunting, making sure I have the best gear and the best loadout for the job. I just know loadout 2 has X, Y, and Z, and instead of having to physically change the wall in-game. Small, minute detail, yes. Little annoyances like that, though, like I said, are the only thing that hold this game back from me buying it. The fact that you do have, this is a problem that no matter what game you create, you always have to consider. You're always going to have, the skill level of the players is going to vary dramatically. There are some teams in some games like this one where it's actually pretty on point with teams. I'm actually very surprised, because usually in games, I don't see a lot of my teammates. Usually they dart off in one direction or another, but it seems like in this game we're staying kind of closely packed, which is a good thing to see, because that encourages team playing, which, again, I don't know if I've emphasized this in a video before, but I took a game design class, and that's the one thing that they struggle with nowadays, is creating an environment where it encourages, if not demands almost, that you have to be working as a team to complete objectives. That's the one thing that I feel the latest Battlefield iteration, I don't know why it's escaping me. I feel like that's one area where that game lacks, the fact that it's just like not really focused. You have a whack ton of people running around the map, but at the same time, you can get literally lost and not know where on earth you are. Is that a game-breaking problem, though? No. It just comes back to bad design, I feel. Within this game, the maps that we've seen so far in the beta are relatively small. Like, this drop zone map is very small, I feel, which is nice because it's constant action with an 8v8, whereas the Walker mission has a bigger, is a very noticeably different size in map. You have 3 objective points that you have to defend, and it is definitely noticeable. Whereas in this game, in this one, you got the small confined maps with a whole bunch of actually in 3D fire zones. You don't have, at least from what I've seen, one zone where you can literally launch a shot from one side of the map to the other side and be okay. You actually have to maneuver yourself around so that you're not only firing at one target, but you also have other spots that you know you're going to get attacked from covered. Like up there, you got a spot up there, you got a spot there. So there's multiple points of relatively control. You have to control multiple parts, which I enjoy. I enjoy when I have the challenge of, alright, not knowing where they're going to come from. That makes the game a heck of a lot more fun for me. I don't know if it makes it more fun for anybody else, but that's one reason why I love Counter-Strike, is because of that. Now, it's been only a few days, but they've already released the recommended specs for the computer. And I want to get into that. People that are complaining that they're recommending 16 gigabytes, well, let's take it back and let's think about it. Game designers now have a huge problem with this, and this is not a problem that can be controlled easily, but it is a huge problem that I feel people overlook quite easily. And the simple problem is, you can have one person, we'll call him Bob. Bob has a computer that's been a pre-built. He bought it from his local Best Buy for $500. Has a cheap little graphic card in it. Has an i5 with only a few gigabytes worth of memory, of RAM in it. Has a terabyte and a half of hard drive space, meaning 1 terabyte and another 500 that he personally put in himself. Whereas you have Joe, on the other hand, who has this massively overpowering computer. Nowadays, there's just so many different configurations people have within their computers that you really, as a game designer, you can test your game till you're blue in the face, but you're gonna need the extra RAM for taking some of the calculations off of the GPU and putting it onto the RAM. It does not excuse, though, having a disk full of textures, like we saw within Final Fantasy when it was released for the Xbox 360. I forget which one it was, but it was like 4 discs. I own it, and it's just basically texture after texture after texture. I don't feel like there's much gameplay in there. I just feel like I bought a disc that has whack ton of textures on it, which, in my feeling, was a waste. Oh wow, I got proximity mine. I didn't even realize that. Now, again, this doesn't go to explain why there's so much that's within that thing that we don't have a good specification for it. What I am saying is just be considerate of what they're trying to do with this game. Those are my thoughts. In the end, I'm not gonna buy it until about a month and a half after release, and then I'm gonna look into it again. Overall, though, it's a fun little video game, and if you pre-ordered it, that's your choice, but I wouldn't have. We've just seen a lot of bad things come out of pre-orders, and I personally don't agree with it, so my hands are gonna be clean on this one. But again, that's my thoughts. I'd like to hear from you guys. What's your guys' thoughts? Tell me down below. Thank you for watching.